This has been out for a little bit, but when I saw the trailer for the Amazon Prime original series ZeroZeroZero, I was totally intrigued, so I decided to check it out. And naturally, now you get a review. It's a game of treachery when a shipment of cocaine from a Mexican drug cartel has to make its way to an Italian crime family. This show is told from 3 different points of view. We have the Mexican cartel view, we have the Italian crime family view, and then we have the American view. Now, we don't see a lot from the Mexican cartel themselves, at least the leaders, but they employ a military leader who believes that he is on a mission from God. He is cunning, he's well equipped, and boy is he brutal. The Italian family has a lot of drama going on. There is the aging grandfather, Don Minu, who is the head. But because he's aging, his rivals are coming out of the woodwork to supplant him. The American partners in this are really just brokers. They're the transport company who is neutral. Their entire gig is to take the drugs from the cartel and deliver it to Italy. At least that's the plan. In this drama, we have a few main players. Harold Torres is the military head for the cartel. He's quietly eerie. Think of a psychopath with a really good smile. I mean, he's somebody who goes to church, he cares for widows and orphans, but he will also slit the throat of a compatriot just because. Adriano Cheramita plays Don Minu, and you want to trust him because he's the grandfatherly type. Well, I mean, heck, he is a grandfather. But he's just as brutal. I mean, good grief, you don't want to cross paths with this guy. His grandson is one of those who are vying for leadership. He's played by Giuseppe De Domenico, and he's just as brutal as his grandfather. He plays a character of Stefano, and I think the dude is missing part of his brain that controls empathy or any type of like self-control when it comes to hurting or not hurting people. What is that, impulsivity? I think he's missing that. On the American side, we have Andrea Riseborough and Dane DeHaan, and they play a brother and sister duo, and I absolutely love them together and separate. Riseborough is savvy. I mean, she is super smart with business, and she knows how to take care of business and how to work the deals, and she is a tough negotiator. DeHaan has an ailment that causes some issues with him, but he's also really smart, and he's very cunning, and he's very aware of everything that is going on. But the problem is he's discounted a lot of the time because of his ailment or out of a protection for him. So he's not necessarily trusted to take care of things that he really could take care of. This is told from 3 different points of view and action happening all throughout the world. The storylines don't converge too often, even though they are running in parallel. And it may sound a little disjointed when you think about, well, gosh, you have 3 stories going on. They're kind of going in parallel. They don't really meet too often. So how does this play out? How does this work together? But because they are related, I mean, they're 3 parts to one larger story, they do really work. And then when things come together, when worlds collide, you definitely have fireworks. Now, one of the things that took a lot of getting used to in this was their use of flashbacks. It's not so much that they were flashbacks or that they utilized flashbacks, it was how they executed them. When the characters or a story would diverge at a point, the action would follow one main storyline and it would continue down to a resolution. And then without prompting or information, we would catch up with the other party or the other storyline and then either follow to meet where they diverged, so now it then comes together, or it starts from the point that they diverged and then continues on so we get to see what else is going on. Now, it's the fact that we aren't given any information or told that this is a flashback, that it looks just like a brand new scene. And that's what causes confusion. I mean, there was a part literally where until the very end of a probably 7 or 8 minute scene, I did not realize it was a flashback until it got to the very end. I was like, oh, that's what they did. Now that is a bit odd, but I do appreciate the ingenuity that they did to accomplish this and how to execute it. Ultimately, it works really well, especially once you're aware that that's the type of flashback that they're using. There's some really tense scenes throughout the show, but there are also times where the pace slows way down. I mean, it takes its time. It wasn't boring because I was hooked the entire time, but it definitely is patient. As you can probably imagine, with 2 different crime families involved, things can get brutal. And they do. There are moments of extreme brutalism, but it also had this spark of realism to it, And I liked that, but it was tough to watch. I'm really glad that I decided to invest the time to watch this 8-episode drama. Now, I don't think it's going to be having a season 2. I really think it works well as a limited series because the way that this season ends, season 1 ends, it has a resolution. Does it look like they could open it up for a season 2? Yeah, they could, but I don't think it would have the same magic or charm. I think that if you keep it as this contained entity, then it's a lot of fun and it works really well. And don't get greedy. Don't try and stretch out a story that doesn't need to be stretched out. Just let us enjoy it for what it is. There is sex, nudity, a lot of profanity, and a lot of brutal violence. I give ZeroZeroZero 4.5 out of 5 couches. So if you've seen this yet, I would love to know what you thought of the series in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for catching with me.